Hello and welcome to this session. What I'd like to talk to you about today is the importance of risk management in the project management arena. Now, we see the project management body of knowledge and we talk about scope management and time management and cost management and the like. And risk management comes in, I think, at about number 8 out of the 10 parts of the project body of knowledge. But what I wanted to demonstrate to you today is why risk management is potentially the most important part of the project management planning process. So when we identify our project and we have our objectives and so forth, the first thing that we do in our plan is to develop a work breakdown structure. And that tells us all of the things that we need to do to make this project happen. And often then what we do is we assign resources, we assign dollars, and we assign schedule to those, or durations. And we put them into our Gantt chart. And at the end of that process, we add that all up and we know exactly when the project's going to finish, how much it's going to cost, and what the resources are that we need. And often that's what we get allocated. The problem with doing that is we have not at this stage looked at the identification of risk. Because when we identify risks, we will identify treatments that need to be part of that risk management process. And those treatments need to be put into your work breakdown structure as activities. And of course, they need to be resourced, they need to have dollars, they need to have time put against those as well. On top of that, the residual that comes from the risk needs to be captured as part of our contingency for the project. Now, in my experience, many projects, all they do is they say, I need 10%, 15, 20% contingency, but they have not actually allocated that against specific risks. Now, worse than that are the projects who find themselves in a position where they're told how much they've got to spend and when the project is to be delivered without even doing any of the planning. That makes it extremely problematic as to the success of that project. So, what we need to do in terms of our project planning is make sure that we have captured the risks against every one of those work breakdown structure activities. We need to make sure that the treatments also go in as activities and are resourced. And we need to have our risk budget or our contingency budget across so that we can deal with issues that might occur during the project. If you don't do this as part of the planning process, and I've seen it happen where we've had project risk assessments done after a request for tender's been sent out, or after a contract has even been signed, that is far too late in the process. If you haven't done these fundamental things before you actually go and get your budget and your duration set, you are going to be severely underdone. And that is why, in my opinion, most projects fail. It's because they have failed to think about risk management. Now, for me, a risk manager in a project doesn't need to have too much knowledge about project management skills. But a project manager cannot succeed unless they understand the fundamental processes around risk management. And if you do have those fundamental processes, then you will actually build all of that into your schedule and into your budget, and you are going to succeed more times than you're going to fail. That's all I've got for this session. As always, let's be careful out there.